Tony Blair finally spoke out, and what he said shocked everyone in Britain. This comes just days after Nigel Farage's Reform UK pulled off a shocking rise among Gen Z women. The former Prime Minister dropped a political bombshell that could change the next general election. If you thought British politics was already on fire, get ready for a tectonic shift. Farage's historic victory wasn't just a good day for reform. It was a tectonic shift. A party that the left once saw as male-dominated, fringe and backward has won over the hearts of young women, a group that the left thought it owned. The so-called progressive generation of Gen Z isn't just flirting with Farage. They're joining him. According to polls, Reform UK's support among women aged 18 to 26 has nearly doubled, rising from 12% to a shocking 21% in just 1 month. Let that sink in. After years of being laughed at as the personification of toxic masculinity, Farage is now the voice of a generation raised on identity politics and labor manifestos. Millennial women are fed up with the fake feminism of Labour and the cowardice of the Conservatives. They're sick of being pampered with rainbow hashtags and DEI checklists while rents go up, jobs disappear, and the streets become dangerous. Enter Farage. Raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. He says what others won't. That the so-called Equality Act is a smokescreen. That meritocracy matters more than quotas. And that safety isn't a buzzword. It's a basic right now. He's talking about real support for working women. Getting rid of the cap on the number of children. Giving married couples tax breaks. And letting mothers stay home longer if they want to. This is reform that no one saw coming. UK beating Labour on social policy and smashing Conservative ease. What used to only happen in bars and Facebook dad groups is now going popular on TikTok, in classrooms, and on construction sites. This is all thanks to young women like Charlotte Hill, who joined UKIP at age 14 and hasn't looked back since. Tony Blair comes out of the shadows and says, "The middle ground is gone." Yes, the man who once modernized work now says that the game has changed, that the middle ground has fallen, and that the fringes are now the mainstream. As Farage rises, Blair knows what this means and says it in hushed tones. Westminster insiders are whispering what was unthinkable just months ago: Farage could be the next prime minister. This isn't satire anymore. It's not just a protest vote. It's a nation snapping awake from a decades-long trance, and Blair sees it. His statement wasn't just reflection, it was a warning, a plea, because if the youth, especially young women, are flocking to reform, then the political elite have lost control of the very voters they used as shields. Make no mistake, this is an earthquake. Labour knows that the Conservatives are sweating. They can't meme their way out of this. They can't diversity train their way to victory. Farage has captured something they never saw coming: trust, not performative #solidarity, but raw working-class rage and aspiration, and he's selling it with the confidence of a man who doesn't care what The Guardian thinks. Now Reform has its first female MP, and what is she saying? That women want meritocracy, not pity, that they want safety, not slogans, that they want strength. Not a prime minister who ducks debates and clings to a centrist fantasy that no longer exists. The left made fun of Farage for appealing to old Britain, but now he's the one getting people excited about the future. Gen Z women, while Labour clings to slogans from the past. So where do we go from here? If Farage is pulling off the impossible and Blair is hinting at the end of centrist politics, what happens next? The battle lines are clear. On one side, people tired of being ignored, overtaxed, and lied to, rallying behind a party that doesn't apologize for putting Britain first. On the other, two legacy parties out of touch and out of time, fumbling through a culture war they started but never understood. And somewhere in between stands Tony Blair, watching it all unravel: his empire, his legacy, his carefully crafted consensus slipping through his fingers. If you've ever felt like the country was rigged, like no one was speaking your language, like the system wasn't built for you, this is your wake-up call. If Gen Z women are defecting en masse to Nigel Farage, it's not because they're confused, it's because they're done being lied to. And here's the truth that should terrify the establishment: the next election won't be based on numbers and slogans, but on anger and who is brave enough to say the things that polite society has tried to hide. Tony Blair lit the fuse, and Farage is already holding the match. The only question now is who will be left standing when the dust settles. Whatever happens, one thing is for sure: Britain will never be the same again. This week, the British taxpayer was hit with a number so shocking and ridiculous that it should have sent Westminster reeling. £4.7 billion. That's how much Britain spends every year to house, feed, and fund tens of thousands of asylum seekers and illegal immigrants, many of whom have no legal right to be here. That's the same amount of money that all of Manchester's taxes bring in. It's like the government walked into that city and told the people who lived there, Thanks for your hard work. Now hand it all over to strangers who just showed up on boats. The British people are furious, and sources inside the house say Charles lost it when he saw the numbers showing not only how much it cost but also how stupidly it was spent.